Greetings, everyone. Good time zone to you and welcome. It's Friday on Going Optimal, so we are going to gauntlet it up. Right in competition with Worlds. Whatever. We got our own Worlds right here. It happens every Friday. It's me versus the viewers in a 7-game, single-game match contest of drafting. We all draft in the same pod on MTGAdraft.tk. We draft on a third-party website. We export our decks into Arena, and then we use the challenge system in Arena and battle each other with those resulting decks. It's a way to draft not only for free, but in pod. That's kind of a thing that's missing from Arena if you're a real purist about drafting. I'm not a real purist. I like drafting in all sorts of forms, and I'm willing to draft non-configurations of 8 players and draft and play out of pod and all of that stuff. At the end of the day, we got Magic decks. They got spells and lands in them, and we use them to try to beat the other player. And I don't, I'm not that much of a purist. However, I do acknowledge that if given the, if you could have it all, one of the things you would have in having it all is draft and play in pod. If I could, it's not feasible, but I would love that if I drafted on Arena, whenever I played out my matches, I would pair against people I drafted against. That would be better. It's just not feasible. But MTGAdraft.tk and an awesome community like we have at the Going Optimal Discord do make it feasible. You can draft for free. You can draft in pod. And you can make a lot of Magic friends and get a lot of good Magic feedback. Everybody's trying to help each other get better in our Discord community, so check that out. And this is one of the ways we celebrate our community is to have fun playing with each other and against each other here on Fridays. I was talking about this earlier, but I love how chat is tends to be rooting for chat to beat me, but tends to not be able to not help me find lines. There's that way in which it doesn't matter that it's like helping your own doom. You can't accept somebody making a Magic mistake when you could help them not make it, right? This is why I love my community. They can't help but help me because they're my community. We want to help people do the right things at Magic. One of those, doing the right thing, is keeping Card Kingdom on your retailer list when you're considering acquiring some cardboard. We play a lot of digital around here, but physical is great as well. Commander, I don't play that much Commander, but I so respect it and so love how it's been embraced and nurtured by our community into this the casual format of our game. And Commander decks are really fun to build. That's my favorite part, is the building, the beginning of the building. By the end of the building, I'm kind of done. But I love Commander from the idea for a deck and the beginning of the building. That's my favorite part. And for that part, that's where you go to Card Kingdom. You go there via my affiliate links. You let them know you got there from here. It helps keep me on the air, and you can pick up all sorts of sweet Commander parts if you're low budget. I mean, one of my favorite Magic jokes is, how much does Magic cost? How much you got, right? And of course, that's a joke on how expensive it is. But what I love about that Magic joke is the answer can be not much, and there's still Magic for you. You could make a budget Commander deck with extremely powerful cards in it. The thing with Magic having decades of card buildup is that only the true cream of the crop is the expensive stuff, but the slightly sub-cream cards are still excellent. And some of the cream is just so overprinted that the prices are still reasonable. So don't be too intimidated. You can find even plenty of power at very low cost, and I highly recommend Card Kingdom for that. Check them out via all my affiliate links. Let them know. Thanks, everybody, for who does that. I really appreciate that, too. Now we're going to hop over to the left monitor here, show you what's up. This is the scene. Our competitors are in place. Ooh, new events for Built to Spill and the Strokes. So many new events in the music world. Random buzz for this app I use called Songkick. I don't know if anybody else uses that, but Songkick can look at your Spotify account, drag all the artists you love on Spotify into your library of artists on Songkick, and then when those artists are going to be in your area on tour, it lets you know. I love it. It's kind of my concert roundup app, and So it's been very helpful to not miss my favorites. Anyway, and you can also track, it's fun to track your show history. I've been tracking all the shows I've ever been to, and that's a chore. If you're a youngster out there just getting into your first rock shows, keep the stubs and keep a log. You won't regret it. You won't regret it if you have a nice list of all the shows you've actually been to by the time you hit my ripe age. All right, I'm ready to go. This is going to be fun. I just need one win, and I get to keep control of my hair. That's always my bottom line goal on Fridays. Job 1, win a game, Ryan. And then job 2, have a ton of fun, try to win the week, all that stuff. Pick one. It's going to help us win a few games. I love starting in blue, and a powerful blue rare is great. We've had this before, and basically, you play a Suspicious Stowaway on 2, they better have an answer immediately, or you kind of just start to take over. This is the looting is strong, and then flipping into just straight up unblockable deal 2 draw is really incredible. And even though it's green on this side, you don't need to be green. It's kind of funny with these cards that flip into a different color, which is just basically purely flavor, right? I mean, not purely. There's obviously game mechanics that look at color, but I'm just saying it's not like your deck needs forests to run a Suspicious Stowaway. Just kind of interesting design observation, or at least a design observation. I'll let you decide on the interest level. Awakener's cool. We had 4 sentries in our successful deck last night, but nothing else here is even close to the power level. Just looking around at what might wheel and whether it matters. There's some world in which Dissipate or Locked wheel, depending on what the table thinks of Dissipate. I think we're all pretty aware that counterspells are fine here in this format, 3-mana counterspells, though. So there is that. I don't think much of impact is going to wheel, though, so I'm not really looking ahead too much. I'm like planning on a wheel. I mean, maybe, you know, Dawnheart Wardens, somebody will pick that up before, and we're not going to be banned or anything. Heck, we might not be blue. I mean, I love being blue. I was saying this as we drafted a blue deck last night. It's just that I'm pretty happy with blue anything. Blue anything is a viable deck. Blue-green, for example. Blue-black, for example. We know that. Which 1-drop is better there? I like both the ones better than this Mentor. Startle is fine, but it's not going to beat out Awakener or Sprout. We could take Startle for the color cut. It's not nothing, given that there's no other blue in the pack. Yeah, but this is more value-rific. Like, I feel like you play this on turn 1, you draw a card and you're attacking with a 4/4 by turn, sometimes 3. You're not counting on that, but like by turn 4, 5-ish, you've drawn a card off of some dumb zombie token and are swinging in and crashing for 4. I just feel like the Sprout takes a lot longer to get going, and then a lot longer to grow, and it doesn't draw you a card. So I feel like I like the Sprout, but I think black's the better color, and I think this gets where you want to be faster and more effectively than the Sprout. That is a very fair point in favor of the Sprout. The Sprout is just 1 mana, and then it's kind of, you wait and it does its thing. But I just think I hear it's close. I think if you took Sprout, I'm not saying we're very far off on expected overall win percentage in the draft exactly, but I like my reasons. And black, black-blue is just good, I've heard. Cool. There's a Winterhorn Blessing, so if we had gone that direction, we could be trying to lock in the green-blue. You want Flip here over Siege Zombie? Well, having taken a black card, I think I'm on Siege Zombie. Yeah, they're both they're similar in some ways, but a lot different in some ways. Again, You could maybe I'm wrong, and Sprout has better long-term win percentage EV, but I like my reasoning. Really, yeah, I guess it's true that the second siege, much like the second 1/3 zombie, becomes just a vanilla. I almost like a Winterhorn Blessing and hedge back towards green-blue. Although I suppose if we're green-blue, we'll see it. Let's see if this comes on the wheel, and then we could consider that. Yeah, I hear you, but I value 2s more than... I think flip is good, but replaceable. So I'm going to take the siege zombie. That's also fair, going heavy blue to make sure we play the stowaway, but black is an excellent color as well. So if we end up heavy black and trying to figure out if we're actually playing the stowaway, I'm okay with that. But you're right that blue, the presence of the stowaway is a reason to be considering blue cards. Moonrager's Slash is pretty cool, but we're kind of getting rewarded with a Scob. It's not busted, but if Startle or Rotten Reunion wheels from this, we'd be thrilled. I'm not planning on it, but I'm just saying, any of these 3 would be excellent if we happen to get them on the wheel. And with Slash, Rush, and Revelation all being good if you're in the red deck, Patrol being good if you're in the white deck, and Cut Purse being playable black, like maybe we end up with something we want, but I would rather have, well, we're best of 1. I actually don't know if I'm playing the Reunion or not. But Rotten Reunion does, since it doesn't require an exile to create the token, it can be a desperation second turn fodder play for the Awakener as a main decker, but we're going to take the Scob. Let's take in a blue card. Another Blessing. So definitely that that path to green-blue had some rewards. Although I feel like I've beaten this card a lot, but it's gotten me too. Don't deny that. I'm going to take Startle here over Occultist, even though Occultist is a nice 2-drop for the Awakener for sure. If you're not heavily self-sacrificing, I find the Occultist can be a liability, and then you're kind of desperately trying to make it a 2-mana cycler, right? Well, maybe it's not desperation, but it's not ideal. How about that? Like, ideally, you play something like an Occultist on 2, and you play your Graveyard Hate when they've got a flashback spell in the graveyard. That's what I mean. But yes, you're not disappointed to set up the Awakener. That's a good thing, which is why I'm saying it's why I like that card with you have Awakeners, because it just gives that card another job to do. Strangler is another card that can be difficult to make work, but is good with an Awakener. Goodish. Like, if this created... My problem with this is that it's at the beginning of your upkeep. I guess... So we're your, right? And it just doesn't... If I do this on my turn, they get a whole turn before they have to do with the thing. And so, yeah, I think Larder Zombie might actually be better. I'm not 100%. Yeah, it does die into removal. It just dies into bad removal that they can often... it doesn't often... Sometimes it just doesn't do the removal thing you want. But so does Larder Zombie. I would sack Larder Zombie. A turn 2 Larder Zombie could sack 2 Awakener as well. And yeah, it can't block, right? So this is a card that's gone way down for me. I'm gonna just take the Larder Zombie. Interloper is another 2-drop that can go to the Awakener, but Dissipate might be a little better. Don't have any 3s yet. I like a counterspell. We might even wheel a Dissipate if this one is going here. There's a potential pick 9 Dissipate. Blood Thief, yeah, this is fine too. I just feel like a card that slowly becomes big on the ground is not that big of a deal here. But it is probably better to be proactive than reactive in general and limited, even though I'm cool with a dissipate. But yeah, I've had flying. It'd be a flying 1/1 with that ability. I would be interested in even. But the ground part is almost just makes me want the interloper for damage. So yeah, the trouble is we can't take both, right? So where am I at? All right, we'll take the Blood Thief and see what we can do with it. At least it's only 3, so if it does trade off with some of that ground removal, you know, ground creatures can be underwhelming in the format. You only paid 3 for it. Crawl from the Cellar, Shady Traveler, and Rotten Reunion are what we're looking at. With the zombie direction of the Scob, I kind of like first Crawl, but I kind of only want like one of these anyway. But Shady Traveler, I'm okay with as long as you have ways to play at instant speed, but I think I value my first Crawl more than my first Traveler, so I'm going to do that, and more than my first Rotten Reunion. If I don't play a Rotten Reunion in best of 1, I'm okay with that. But if I do, I'm okay too, especially if we've got zombie synergies, which of course we do with the Scob and sacrificial stuff. So Dissipate did come back. We'll take that one over Rotten Reunion or Locked in the Cemetery. Also note that we took a blue rare, and the only other 2 blue cards in the pack were Dissipate and Locked. And Dissipate's better than Locked in this format for sure. Especially it exiles, so a lot of spells that have you dissipate a flashback or a disturb spell, and you've gotten kind of a quasi 2-for-1, which is why I like this in the format. Even through the double blue. Pogger Stonks. I swear to God, your generation constantly sounds like you're having a stroke. None of this matters. What do we not want to face? Probably a Perforator or a Raise. If it's aggressive red, Unruly Mob is decent. We'll take the Perforator. You're only young relative to me, though, Rob. Careful how you label yourself there. Your fellow not super old people. Secrets, unlikely to matter to the point that I almost want to take away a just some cut some tools for another deck. Both of these are decent in the decks that they go into. And yeah, I just don't think we're going to be a Secrets of the Key deck here, so I'm going to cut the Hauler. Here's a Rotten Reunion we could grab, or again, cut the Revelation. There is a great spells deck, and this could really help it out. But I don't mind taking a card from my deck here. If an amazing Electric Revelation is cast against us in the next few hours, we can go, maybe that was the one. Lot of red available, so once again, probably 1 or 2 red drafters getting a pretty decent hookup. But of cards that are generally not as powerful as what other stuff is doing, although a Smoldering Egg for the True was going to be in the blue-red lane, and True's deck is starting to look good here. This is about as bad as a pack gets for us. I guess Geist Wave isn't the worst here, but like 1 blue card, 1 black card. The black card is unplayable. The blue card is something you try and wheel. Yikes. Can't quite bring myself to hate draft anything here, but Lunar Frenzy plus Smoldering Egg makes me worry about the... Yeah, I mean, we might wheel the wave. Nobody else seems to be in blue. You'd have made your way into black? Interesting. Well, Hate the Egg. Flesh Taker could be a splash. I don't think we're going to splash. I like Hate the Egg over... Hate the Egg or Geist Wave makes sense. So I'm going to Hate the Egg. Suck it, Red Drafter. My egg, not yours. You should be laughing at me. Ha ha! Ryan had to hate draft with his first pick, pack 2. There's an Interloper we could take, but do we just like a Defenestrate? Interloper basically wheeled before, so I'm going to give it a chance to wheel again. It's not my favorite too. It'll do, we'd play it, but I like blocking. Blocking is sweet. You ever done that? It like saves your life. Wow. Blocking. Mike's doing his level best to throw me under the bus, but even he falters. Even Mike accidentally gives me good advice here and there. Although it's always fun to try and establish whether Mike has slipped up and given me good advice or is trickily giving me bad advice. It's like a sub-game. I have interest. I'm just not going to disrupt my streaming schedule to be a viewer of it. And I've tried the co-streaming thing once, and it just didn't feel like my bag. If I wanted to get into like Magic broadcasting, I would probably start doing that to show what I could do and see if I liked it. But I think the answer is I don't want it. I don't. Maybe I. But anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. But the other thing I love about high-level Magic events is staying dark on results and going back in, watching the replay, and skipping through to the good parts. Ugh. More mediocrity. We already passed on a Strangler once. It might be the pick here, though. I don't love it, but I think I like it more than a Sage, Consider, or Crawl at this point in the draft, although Consider is fine. If we pass it, it's going to get snapped up by whoever's doing blue-red spells out of this pack. Maybe they take the Sage, though. Yeah, it's just not a great 2-drop, but we'll take it. It can still do the things and potentially do good stuff with Awakener and sack on 3. Deck is becoming quite playable, though. You know, like a deck that gives me hope to preserve my hair. This is starting to look like the kind of deck that would have to have some pretty bad luck and bad piloting to 07. It feels like it's developing just fine. It's not hyper powerful or anything. And I say that, and like we keep coming up a little short here. Whoever wanted to be red-black, now you that was True. True is thinking maybe they'd end up red-black. That's a nice card for that. I'm taking an Evolving Wilds, really? Man, maybe things are going south here. I say that and like immediately I'm going to 07 today. I'm just saying I do like how our deck was developing, but this is a troubling pack, honestly. I'm going to take the Evolving Wilds over some on-color cards that really don't excite me. Casting my spells by finding missing mana, that excites me. Love casting spells. Never won a game where I didn't. But yeah, I think we're going to face a good vampire deck here. If anybody has found the black-red lane, they're getting a bit of a hookup. Hey, thanks, Garrett. Always feels good to do well in that event. I seem to be the Jeff Kent of the Sweatsuit Invitational. Kind of a reference only a few of you will get, but it's very appropriate one for the Sweatsuit Invitational. Is his first name Jeff? Maybe I'm screwing it up. I'm trying to think of the guy. Oh yeah, no. Rob Deere would be a good one. I'll just go with Rob Deere. Rob Deere is one of the all-time strikeout home run hitters in baseball. I think there is a Jeff Kent. I think it might not be the type of player I'm thinking of, though. There was Rob Deere and then one other guy in the 70s and 80s who just had all their hits were home runs. When they got hits, they were home runs, but mostly they didn't get hits. So I don't know if that's the Kent I'm thinking of, but I know Rob Deere was one such player. Back to our game here. I'm glad to see a zombie. We need some threes. That's a fine playable over the Shady Traveler, which we'd also play, but just glad to see something playable here. Not even playable, something good, like, yay, I like that card and I want it. I suppose that's fair, Mike. I've probably won some scoops that way. More garbage for our deck. All of these are super medium. Where's our organ hoarders? People are taking our organ hoarders. Yeah, is it too late to get out of blue? True is happily in red-black and licking his chops. I am wondering about my life choices. True likes the Bat Whisperer. Yeah, I guess we don't have any fours, and No Way Out is... I just don't like this card. I really don't. But I guess over the rest of it is the fair thing, JC, right? What else am I taking? Well, No Way Out's the answer. It's one of these two. And I don't mind a No Way Out. So do that. You like it a lot. I don't mind it. It does have the drawback of you can cause them to discard reasonable value in flashback stuff, and it has the drawback of, oh my god, they don't even have two cards in their hand. I mean, that's just very real. So I can't get super excited about it, but it. I even played. Was it yesterday that I played a couple because it was like it still does do the thing where it's like it doesn't always work, but again, strikeout home run. I'm going to play it because of its home run potential. Yeah, pick 7 ambush is nice to see. I think this is the second. Somebody can do the Stick Fingers deck who can remember what it does. I don't remember what it does when I hit the bottom of the card, right? I start reading and I get to in your graveyard. I'm like, what does this card do? I don't know. Let's go back and read it again. I know. And then people in chat try to tell me, and then it doesn't matter and I forget. It has something to do with the graveyard and creatures. But don't you have to... Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, maybe. It's got too many words on it. I can't read that. Yes, you did remove the front side, but it makes it a little bit worse than it can be in a typical format. I get it, but figuring that out true means reading that card some more, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to... You say don't pay X. I'm not going to pay X because I'm just not going to play that card. Yeah, another Death Touch zombie is fine. I think we like that over Cover Up or Crawl number 2. Because I'll play like 4 zombies if we have to, but I'm not going to play 4 crawls ever. Or 4 cover-ups ever. But yeah, I'm not down on the discard 2. I'm just not, I'm not going to put it in the B range or anything. It's just one of them Cs. A C with a higher level of variance than a lot of Cs. Which is the main factor that made me not like giving cards grades. We never graded cards during my run on LR. I'm going to take the Rush. Hopefully we're going to pick up things like the Scob Tapper and things that die to one ping, and we want to cut that. And heck, this is where we move into Vamps anyway. Here, look. We can just be, I mean, we're not that, like, the blue has been dry, so dry, we could literally consider the move into red at this point. I'm not kidding. I mean, what are we in blue for at this point? Stowaway and some zombie synergies, and really an Awakener. Everything else is like, all right. You got some black cards, congrats. Or some blue cards. Yeah, that's all right, I flipped gears there. I was saying larger zombie and dissipate or whatever, but our black, obviously, we're locked in. Sorry. Interloper, though, we don't have to choose. We get to take a black card. That's the thing. So we'll keep taking black, but keep being open, because let's face it here. I'm going to even move my colors out here so we can start really lining them up a bit. So pull a Harrier into this pile. Yeah, maybe I got too serious with Stowaway too quickly. But when the Dissipate wheeled, I mean, are you with me? Like, we wheeled a Dissipate, and we wheeled all of the blue cards from our opening pack, and both were at least playable. Or red. In pack 1, blue seemed like it was there, and then it just wasn't there in 2. So I don't know what pack 3 is going to be like here. We do switch directions, you know. It's replaceable, but it was still there. The bottom line, Mike, is both of the cards that were still there were replaceable, but literally nobody had taken a blue card from the pack. That's what was the main thing, and they were takeable ones. Our opening pack wasn't that amazing. It was pretty good, but there were definitely... I don't think we're playing an Abandon the Post, even if we do end up red. And there are some potential reasons to think about, like we barely survived a Fangblade yesterday, but we're going to happily take a Gissa. Baseline Gissa is a 4/4 for 4, which is nice. But basically, you get... decay versions. You get a decay version of your opponent's dead creatures. The best thing with them is static effects. I hate, like, is Organ Hoarder better? I mean, I got enamored by seeing a non-color black rare, but it's possible that Organ Hoarder is just a better card. The fact that they're decay tokens is real, but I mean, it's funny that Organ Hoarder is here, because that's exactly the kind of thing you want. I mean, Gissa killing an Organ Hoarder is sicko. But yeah, you're right. We may not be blue and we know we're black. So let's go ahead and take the Gissa and have that be the tiebreaker at least. Yeah, that's a good point. Mike calls out that it basically turns disturbed creatures into front side only. I just don't like passing Organ Hoarders when I have blue cards I want to play. This is interesting. I don't know, we're pack 3. I don't know where we're landing here on our second color yet. I really wanted to be blue, but now we get a Vampire Socialite. I mean, there's an Eaten Alive. We could take the Eaten Alive and try to wheel this if nobody else is red-black, but I have a feeling somebody else probably is, given the other one that went around. Interestingly, Eaten Alive is a bit of a non-bow with Gissa, because the creatures don't die. when you use this removal. Bait Hook Angler, though, is also a reason to stay in blue. Great with the Awakener. Maybe I do just take the Eaten Alive because, again, we know we can play it. We know we're going to play it. Yeah, I think I'm talking myself into the adult pick of the card we know we're going to play. But the Socialite is appealing. It's just, it's a very vampire synergy as well. And like, I don't know, how many vamps do we have? Like some, maybe? Like Interloper and Blood Thief? But we're not like some... Oh, in here, the Bat Whisperer that I don't even like. I guess if we end up red, which we would get a lot more vampires. So... So you're well, do you want to take it now, though? I'm curious where you're at now, True, because we're not in your universe where we've got your sweet version. We got to decide what to do now. You're on Eaten Alive as well for the security. All right, that's kind of where I landed. Let's do it. I was talking about all these hobbling zombies that we might end up with here. Here's another one. Again, it's just a guaranteed play. Or, you know, as black, we know we can run it. Which conversation? I mean, let's face it, I have all the conversations over again all the time, but I just don't know which one you're talking about. Anybody want something other than hobbling here? If we want to get it on vamps, we could take the Stinger, but again, if we're going to be in red, it's because it was open and this stuff wheels. Like the Mounted Dread Knight is also a reasonable top end for red-black, but I am going to stick with black. We just know we can play them. We know we're black. And we just can decide at the end what we kind of want to splash. If we're blue-black, we're distinctly missing Organ Hoarders and Grave Titans. And we're quickly getting to the place where we cannot expect to draft any of them. Outlaw is the vampire pick. We're a little low at 4, though. You can even make a Foragers call. If we're thinking that this is a vampire-based pick, we could just take the Foragers for that instead. Elementalist, says Mike. If we take that, what are we getting back that we're happy? We get some removal. Eaten Alive, yeah. I don't love our spell selection for that. Yeah, loops with Crawl, that's true. I guess, I mean, Outlaw is pretty underwhelming. Sure, whatever. Uh-oh, did Mike get me? Was I not supposed to take that? I don't think that pick mattered much, really. We'll see where we land here. Another Awakener this late makes me think maybe we just weren't very lucky with cards in packs today. This is a great pickup. At this point, I'm thinking we're probably still blue. Although I don't love the double blue on the Dissipate. I just don't think the red is there over the blue yet. But really, we're a mega black deck looking to see what we're spicing it up with at this point. Hey, third best blue-black deck in the pod is a decent deck, man. It's got 5 other decks to be better than. Fortunately, that's not how the format actually is. If you're splitting up blue-black among 3 players, probably some other color pair has the best deck at the table. Certainly, it's been self-correcting enough. Too bad. I kind of want to go back and just be the Stick Fingers deck now. Consider or a No Way Out. Those are the choices. Not taking the Infiltrator. So consider, if we're heavy black, this loses luster because you're not often doing it on turn 1. So I am going to take the No Way Out just because we're kind of, whatever our second color is, it is effective. I'm thinking of it as a splash, and Consider is not a good splash card. Triple Sticks would be fantastic, and we will salute anyone who even tries it. Surveillance, because we didn't really end up with the value engines we wanted, and this is a good splash card if we feel like we need some attrition tools. And I could take Stormrider Spirit, that's the other one, but I'd rather take the upside Surveillance for long game inevitability. I think the killer on the mirror is the fact that when you finally do the thing, it's tapped. Like, it can't even block the turn it becomes a creature. A lot of bounce to make you really unhappy, too. But there's also, it does become a big flyer that can win if it lives. I'm pretty sure Mike is not serious about the suggestion, but could be. And then look at Play with Fire still here. Last pick of the pack. Delver. Let's see. Are we ever Delvering? Again, it's not a splash card, so I just can't see it. So I'll take Play with Fire in case we decide to run a little red. And also it cuts red. If we end up blue, that's one Play with Fire that can't take away a Stowaway. Yeah, red-white doesn't come together often, but looks like it could have been decent here. So are you happily playing Mirror in any black deck, Mike? Is that just a thing you're like happy to run? Are you messing with me? Occultist as a 2 to sack to our double Awakeners is the pick here. Yeah, Flying Vamp is okay. We could take that too, I suppose. We don't have much of a top end, that's fair. But I like working the early game angles. Yeah, maybe we don't have enough of a top end and we should take this. If we end up blue, we're going to have more 2-drops anyway. Yeah, especially because this is kind of weak. If this were a better card, I think I would take it. All right, we'll take a flyer because we don't have much going on at the top end. Crawl number 2, or just more burn, or more aggro. What a weird draft. It's another exile thing that doesn't work with our rare, which kind of sucks. I like that we have 4 picks here to choose from. 4 cards in our colors, color considerations. I'm going to take the Perforator. I might pivot to the vamp, or maybe we just are vampires, in which case the Perforator is fine. Stinger or Dread Knight. Again, we don't have much of a top end, so I'm going to go ahead and take a Dread Knight here, in case we're red. We don't have to, though. We have enough. I mean, we're so black heavy, we can truly choose whichever of these colors we think augments our black the best. We'll take a look. Maybe build and submit 2 different decks, and then we can mix it up which one we use. I won't pre-sideboard or anything if that's okay. I mean, I can also settle on one, or we can agree that I'll use one for this many and whatever. Oops, let's put this here for now. All right, well, we got a lot of playables. It's just across 3 colors, and we got some thinking to do here. Let's take, let's first cut all the non-black, even the wilds, although forgot my wilds yesterday. Don't let me forget my wilds. Is there anything we just really don't like here? The Strangler is not great. Rotten Reunion, not my favorite main deck card. Got a lot of zombies. They're fine, but maybe Outlaw is more like, if we're vamps, we're happy with this. If not, we're not. Yeah, No Way Out is medium at best. So why don't we cut the stuff we think is medium and say, like, this is our core. Yeah, we can cut Bat Whisperer too. I agree that that's medium. And so this is our core, and let's take a look at what blue looks like first. So we would go Curse, Stowaway, Larder, Startle, Scob. And we're going to have to play enough blue to play a Stowaway and a Larder zombie, so I'm okay with a Dissipate, even though it seems like, double blue, Ryan. I was saying it's a splash, but, like, I can't treat it like one if the reason we're in the color is for Larder zombie and Stowaway. So if we're going to commit to the necessary islands anyway, we can do that. And then this is, let's look at this is a 14 creature build with a few slots to go. It's just the narrow cuts, right? I don't want to add any more blue, so we just have to re-add black cards. And I think a Strangler on 2 and a Reunion. Then we're looking at Reunion versus No Way Out, I think. We're best of 1. We could also do 16 land and run both. We don't have a lot of card flow. We have 2 Awakeners, Startle, Larder Zombie with Friends can help. Yeah, I'm kind of on No Way Out over Reunion if it's between those 2 as well. Grixis is the only answer. I decline. I disagree. But I think we could do that. And with the, I think I want to stick to 17 here with an Evolving Wilds. So this would be the blue deck. I'm going to export this. Yeah, we're going to look at both. In fact, I'm going to load both. So this is me importing black, blue, zombies. But yeah, I think we have so many zombies, it's going to be hard to pull me off of the zombie plan because of the zombie lord ad that blue gives us. But let's see. And again, the probably the best card in our deck, the Stowaway. But yes, we cut that. I'm going to recut the least favorites. And put in the obvious red that's vampire based. This is a maybe still for me, depending. These two vampire creatures, maybe they just belong in because we're doing vampires, but you know, perforator, egg, rush. And maybe we could even cut like a zombie. This is trying to be more aggressive. And we don't have the friends. We can cut a zombie for a more aggressive vamp. And oh, Scob shouldn't be in here. Got to cut that. And then that leaves room for another Strangler. We could just, oh no, wait, sorry. I thought we had two Stranglers or something. I thought I tried to put that in. I just missed it. Oh, I guess I cut it as one of the weak cards. But like this could be the black-red version. This is looking at, where's my, here. This is an 18 creature version. So it's got 6 spells, but they are basically all removal spells. But I think this is basically the build for this one, with different lands. We want this at, you know, at least this, if not 8/7 with a wilds, making it kind of a 9/8. So I'll export this as well. And we're going to call this black-red vamps. I could use a little bio break before we get going, so I'm going to poll chat on what you think the better build is. And I know that, of course, we have our fun games of sabotaging Ryan on Gauntlet days, but I'm genuinely curious of your Magic opinions here. So put aside your Get Ryan sub games and give me an honest answer to what build you would run if it was very important for you to win as many games as possible today. What would you do? Let's give you, heck, I'll give you 90 seconds because I'm going to take a short break and be right back. And we'll say vamps or zombies. And very curious to see how it plays out. And I will be back shortly. Hey, gang. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Like, this isn't a bad looking build, but I don't think it's as good as the zombies deck. But I think I'll call after if I win with blue-black zombies. I'm not so pompous that I'm presuming I get a win today. But if I do get a win with black-blue zombies before the 7th game, I'll switch to black-red vamps. And maybe I'll should I switch on wins or losses? Maybe I should just switch on losses. Whenever a deck loses, I switch. And if I can 7-0, the deck deserves to stand. Oh, actually, I don't need these. I've got my own. I forgot I had my earbuds in. That's fair, Mike. Usually, I just with red decks, especially aggressive red-black decks, I'm just getting your blockers out of the way with removal, so it feels like just worse than removal and gets cut. I mean, it is worse than removal, and then it gets cut for space a lot of the time. But I hear you. And in this build, our removal isn't so strong that you couldn't consider that. All right, so let me get my list of competitors, and I think I'll start with, oh, we're on left monitor. That's what's going on. Let's go here. Let's make sure we got everything here. Looks like we do. We can apply some styles, get our lands right. Fresh sleeves for Mama. There they are. And let's check for other bling. Redemptions. Those complete. I'll do a couple memes here. We got an abomination. It's a good one. And which one did you want? Sure. In defense of talking.
You don't need double talk. You need blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. No habla español.
And let me go that. That's right. That's what we're doing this though. Format is versus chat. Yeah, what that won the vote, right? It was going to be my vote. Yeah, zombies won over vamps. And I think that's correct. We're going to try it anyway. I think the power of that rare and the power of the zombie lord put the blue over the top for what it does for this deck. But this is bad suggestion. We do need more islands than this, even despite. But this is right, I think. 9/7 with an Evolving Wilds. Yeah, I haven't yet. But I've heard solid things about it. Hey, grats, Rob. Have fun at that. Actual blessed magic tournaments. Very nice. And yeah, so if we switch, I'll tighten up that deck a little bit. But let's get going. First up, Saitama, One Punch Man. waiting to punch us many times. Come on, pairing system. I also kind of sprung it on Saitama. We were dinking around and then I just jumped in, so we'll see if Saitama is at the ready. I know if we need to back out and restart or something, Hat will let me know. But that's been kind of the way to heal the ills here when it doesn't work, is just have everybody back out, restart, and try again. Anything safety measure-wise besides proof of vaccination or negative test and masking up? Okay. Oh, lowercase s. Sorry, I hear you. I didn't understand that for a second, but now I do. Can't believe it's case sensitive, Wizards. Are you serious? Why is it case sensitive? You got pound number to differentiate who this freaking player is. Why case sensitivity? Holy hell. I did not design that. You can't blame me for for case sensitivity in the challenge system. All right, chat, good luck to all but one of you. Players, that is. This is a keep. Start strangling, have some removal, and one of our rares, a Waden. So now if Saitama wants to take out the Strangler with the Bolt before playing a creature, the Strangler won't be worth anything. But this is where Strangler falls down a little bit, right? Like, we can attack, but then they can just trade 1 for 1, and then we haven't done anything. we just haven't gotten anywhere. But we could go... I don't want to ambush, because I want to save ambush till we have the Resurrector out. So... yeah, but when that's the common result case for the card, I'm just saying that's why it plays so much worse than it reads. Like, you read this card and have a lot of hope for it, but then this happens a lot. So I'm not saying it's a disaster, but I am saying it's why the card underplays how it reads. Can we strangle the Bolt? What do you mean by that? Permanent, right? Creature or planeswalker? Nope. Yeah, so Interloper and Pass is correct, but I'm just pointing out that it sucks that we can't attack with our 2, because I don't want to trade it yet. Although, hey, it doesn't suck, because instead of just a 2/1, which I've sometimes been forced to play, we have one that actually does something we want to try to make happen. Maybe. That's the thing. I don't know. Maybe maybe I have fancy play syndrome right now. But I like Interloper. Let's see if Saitama wants to take something out here. Maybe now I'll offer it true. This is... Oh, now I screwed up. I needed to play this. Well, the thing is, I don't want to play... what I was trying to do is not play into a possible counter. So actually, I'm going to continue my line of just Interloper, because there's Bolt, there's possible counter. With the Bolt, I feel like I have to put him to the test. At least it's not a Dissipate, but we did see many flip the switches. So if we go for this, we might get our switch flipped, but then I'm at least hoping that Blood Tithe Collector hits next turn and is fine. Yeah, it could be Dissipate. You're right with the Observer. Sorry, I forgot that makes mana. Good call. But we'll see. And in any case, I'm not going to not cast it, especially when the pause is fully explained by Silverbolt And if we decided to pass without doing anything, we are basically just giving them the ability to bolt. So that's great. That's what we wanted. And now we have Midnight Ambush to collect ourselves an Observer or something else. An Eccentric Farmer, perhaps. Although Ambush doesn't actually... get it done fully. We can still attack, though, because if they block with the farmer, we can ambush the farmer and actually win the combat, keep the Strangler around for a little bit, and steal the farmer. And if they just don't block, obviously they can block with the Observer, and we're fine with that as well, because then we put the Strangler on the farmer, and we get the Observer off the Resurrector. So... what I don't want to do is offer Resurrector with a double block. Although, actually, no, sorry, with the ambush we can. Let's see. I want to check my tips and tricks to make sure I got to play around anything green. Turn the Earth is the only single green. Oh, but there's blue as well, so it could be. There's actually a lot. Could be several things with the bounce and everything. Yeah, with the ambush, let's swing both. Even if they have something, I don't think it can't be like a counter spell. Yeah, Startle would be okay even, so I think this is fine. And we do this, and it doesn't matter how we order it, because we're going to try and kill the Observer. I mean, I guess it matters if they do something here, but we're going to try to get the Observer here. And in doing so, also get the Farmer. All right, there's a pause. Let's see what Saitama has for this play. Fair enough. We got some good value out of that. Saitama's getting some good value out of Ren and 7. Yoicks.
They prepare for war.
But this actually hits Planeswalkers, so this isn't bad. This Strangler's going to kill it either way. What's bad is that they got a 5/5 left over. And again, this is my problem with this card. They get a full turn to use this stupid thing. And it does only make them choose. You're right. That being said, we're going to start making them choose. And Stowaway maybe is even more important. They can't make another token. Yeah, I'm just trying to decide between these two. They both have reasonable lines. I'm going to go with the Collector, though, and then if we draw action, we have the possibility and, frankly, the probability of a 2-spell turn next turn. This doesn't get any value here, which is an issue. If we play this, we can plink in and then get more value. Yeah, they do have reach. That's a great point. Yeah, never mind. The reach swayed me. I forgot the reach. Good call, true. So I'm going to go with Stowaway instead because of the reach. And then we can at least get value if we connect and then Collector. We might not be able to attack through a 5/5 reach, but we have made him discard. Yeah, it's true. Maybe they just have an easy land discard, but it is what it is. Doing well there for a second, and then look, it's pretty hilarious that One Punch Man is kind of going to get us in 2 punches. But we got to say no blocks here and hope we dig up some removal. Too bad it's non-land permanent. Like, it can only get creatures and planeswalkers. You should have to sack creatures and planeswalkers, I think. This will do, though. Let's start with... we could just get the planeswalker, but I kind of like... Let's see, is this... deals combat damage to a player. We can knock Ren down to 2. But like with this stuff... I guess this doesn't create things that can be sacked. So maybe maybe we just attack Ren down to 2 and eat alive the tree folk, and then see what Saitama can do to keep putting fodder for the Ren. The saddest part of all this is that the Suspicious Stowaway does not get a card attacking Planeswalkers. We don't get to loot here, but this is managing our biggest problem, so I like it. If you wanted, we could sack the Stowaway and play the Collector, but that doesn't seem right. I think we want to try and get value out of the Stowaway.
Power grows with tender care.
$15 to $27, we might be able to mill them out. It's kind of a funny sequencing here with just endless lands, but they can't be sacrificed to the Strangler. But there's some new fodder for the Strangler. But we'll just keep the same line. See what they give up here. All right, letting the Planeswalker go. I can live with that. Now we can send in and loot. I know Farmer represents some scary bigness on the crackback, but we have... Ooh, we got to discard one of these. What are we discarding? Siege Zombie, actually the least useful here. It might help close out eventually, but we can Awakener Collector, so let's just ditch the zombie and 2-spell it.
Wake me up before you go. Wake me up.
Think they'll discard a land? Shocking. Interesting that it's the wilds. I would probably... Well, I guess if you're worried about milling, maybe you don't... Oh, then they're going and fetching more, so... I don't know. Scry to the top. That's a little scary, too. So, what does this mean? Can't... I'm going to risk it. I mean, maybe there's some sort of pump that we just lose the game on the spot, but I feel like I can't chump with either of these out of that fear. I'm gonna make Saitama have a kill here. And now we can send the Stowaway. If we send the Collector... I guess Collector plus Flipped Awakener can trade with a Farmer 1-for-1, and that's relevant here. So I'm going to keep both my other cards back, send the Stowaway. And now if you show me like a creature on top that I could either also plan on double blocking with, but what we hope actually is to find a creature we can sack to the Awakener that's not the Stowaway, because we might have to sack the Stowaway to take out the Farmer being at 4 life. All right, we'll discard the land, and then we have to decide whether we're cursing or sacking and flipping. If we curse, then we're talking about chumping with the Awakener or the Collector. How many removal outs do we have? We have defenestrate. We're down to like 1 removal out. That's hobbling zombies, though. We got 3 zombies. That's what we're really looking for. Okay, so that's 4 things we could draw that solve the problem of this hefty farmer. So maybe we take a chumping turn. Because if not, I'm actually sacking a very good card in the stowaway. So yeah, I'm going to curse and start drawing cards this way instead of with the Awakener. And maybe we can chump our way to... what a weird... I get that this is worded this way for, like, commander purposes, but and I like it for that. And actually, this is the type... I have a red-blue commander deck in progress that functions on cards that affect all players, so this would be perfect for that. I should put that on my list. All right, so we're gonna not die here, and we're gonna use the Awakener to not die. I think that's correct. This is how you get losses, not ants. But let's see, we'll give you... What is this card called? I forget. It's called Rise. Rise. See, I got it alphabetically.
Oh, is that what you want?
Yup.
Because that's how you get ants.
I'm offended that I'm losing to a deck playing a literal 4 green enchantment, and my opponent has 2 lands of 3 colors. Saitama, no justice in Magic. It's a great build around. I'm saying in a 3-color deck, it's an eyebrow raiser, but it's sure kicking my butt right here. And in fact, I think I do have to just attack with the stowaway. I know we need like 3 blockers here to not die, but we need removal to not die. So I'm going to go looking for removal or a creature. I'm just saying Saitama got lucky. I'm not saying Saitama's bad. Saitama, I'm not saying you're bad. But even you know that to cast Unnatural Growth as early as you did took a little luck. That's okay. I'm just saying. Lucky duck. And now we did. Although we could draw remove off the curse. So we'll play this and see if Defenestrate off the top saves us. Nope, it's a Crowl. We did. Let's make Saitama attack, but looks pretty straightforward. And to be fair, also to be fair to Saitama, it almost looks like a double splash. Like there's not much non-green in here. So I just think Saitama's great fixing produced a lot of extra of the splash, but really it's pretty clear this deck is mostly forest. So I acknowledge that too. And I acknowledge that I lose.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Yeah, so it looked like mega green with tons of fixing such that it can look like you got lucky, but really it's just they had so much fixing that I'll get some spare splash lands, I guess. Cool deck. Cool deck. You did. I gave you your meme, and chat is 1 to the good against me today. Ayuma up next to try to keep the pain train going for chat. I am going to. Did I say I was going to do it if I lost or I won? I think I want to stick. I'm going to do a switch when I win now. So next time I win, if I win with the blue black deck, I'll switch and try the red deck. we're on the play with a reasonable start. Nothing we're happy to play on 2, but plenty of good stuff here, and a nice mix of land and spells. We'll grab our second black source for the Resurrector. Although it means we are a little, you know, we might find our Dissipate before we find our second island, but obviously Black Swamp is the correct choice there. I think I said everything, Mike. That's the thing. So I'm just going to do whatever. I'm not going to waste a startle for a cycle here. I think it's reasonable to just play Traveler and even just try and... Although I don't want to trade yet again. When you have Gissa, you want to at least try and get stuff down and then start trading after. So I'm going to go Traveler, take 3... Resurrector, see if they attack. Oh, that Farmer doing work against us today. Good card. Pick your poison. I'd go with Evolving Wilds unless you got something to do on 4, but we'll find out, I suppose. Zaambe. Well, they're playing blue. I'm going to drop the Resurrector ahead of any potential counter magic. But, you know, not counting on untapping with the Resurrector in play. Yeah, Sultai was overdrafted for sure. We're 2 games in and have seen 3 blue-black drafters. 2 games in, 3 blue-black drafters. All right. I can work with this. I have a feeling Resurrector may die. We got the Defenestrate and the Startle. We can cast both, though. So I'm going to be crashing in here. No, I'm not holding it back because we have 2 removal spells. Like, what are they going to do that we can't handle? So now it's like, now they're just all, let's see, we have 4 total, so we want to just like Defenestrate the Farmer and take out the other 2 with, and then, we Defenestrate a 3 power and shrink a 2 power, right? So then it doesn't, that's what we're doing, and then it doesn't matter. So we Defenestrate 3 power. And, to take the Farmer and the Sentry. When does this happen? Your upkeep. All right, so they had 1 turn to get rid of Gissa. Can they bounce her? Oh, whew. All right, we got there. Gissa was above or Hoarder here, but this is really the first time. It's not easy to get her to do this work we just saw. I'm going to take the Evolving Wilds because we actually have 5 mana of action. And kind of still do. So I'm going to play the Wilds, get an island. And can't attack with these yet, have Midnight Ambush to continue punishing attempts to trade for Gissa, so we're sending again. Yeah, ideally we can let it go to night. We can also like completely wreck Oppo in the face of a double block, so why not? I'm gonna do that. Yeah, Siege Zombie gets to come down, start pinging. Although, with the choice to not block anything, we can pass to flip. And then we get a big Traveler and a Bomby ambush, right? So yeah, let's just do that. Then we protect everything with Dissipate as well. Augur is powerful. I could have maybe killed that in the main phase, but I don't think it mattered. This isn't enough, even with what we've got on board. They block our 3 biggest, but one of them has Menace, so it's like 4, 5. Yeah, I think we are still lethal, so I'm just going to let this happen. With removal, we're still lethal here. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, right, ambush kills it. But it was still just a question. I mean, I had to ask the question of do we counter it? And for many reasons, the answer was no. And yeah, we can kill the Augur. It shouldn't really matter. But I'm going to kill the thing with biggest toughness. And with the Dissipate backing all of this up, it should just be over here. That's true. I just don't think the game goes that long. It maybe have been a moot decision.
I do my hair,
All right.
check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Tied it up. I'm actually gonna leave my personal hair untossed today. I didn't really actually get much grooming time, so I have no idea what would happen if I undid the the tail right now. We also have here, that's the classic. We got a new one from Hat as well. Where is it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I swear I put it in. Probably in the wrong place. Oh well. See, I know I have one here. I think I put one here on accident. I'll do it in here. Because I tried to move it from here. Yeah. What's up with that? Anyway, here it is.
Thank you. We got one!
The champ is here!
Morpheus, aka Sandman Disciple, is up next. Good luck, Sandman. Yeah, that rare wrecked you pretty hard when we had 2 combat interactions. Someone asked why I was risking my rare, and it's like, well, we got 2 pieces of interaction. There's not much that they can do against the 2 pieces, and you even had the answer to 1 piece. But we had them both. All right, next up. Hey, come back here. Oh, I was going to switch. But I need to make sure I don't need to craft anything. Looks like I don't need to craft anything. But while I'm here, I might as well upgrade the lands. Go with the Burleys. Go. Yeah, most times a triple block there would be great. If I didn't have 2 pieces of removal, I don't know if I risk it. I might have, because I with what you had on board, even 1 piece of interaction would have saved my rare. I don't know if I would have played around. Here, I'll use Lotus Sleeves on this one. I don't know if I would have played around it without the 2nd piece. Well, it was hotly contested, and we don't have a great version of the deck. We have some great cards. We have very good individual cards in the deck, in the archetype, but it is not some tight, wide-open blue-black deck. It was a hotly contested corner, and the quality of our worst cards shows the contention. Free memes. I don't know if we're killing that, but with the Defenestrate, maybe. But again, though, with the Resurrector, we'd like to wait until till we got her out to start killing stuff. I'm at least going to let the ambush potentially pick off something better than the guide. Mob is interesting. Let's see if there's a land here from Morpheus. Okay, there is a 3rd land. I'm going to go ahead and pick off the mob, I think. Although, at this point, we're really just defenestrating next turn, and that's probably a better card to use than the ambush anyway. Ambush actually, I think, gets more cards than defenestrate, especially with the night side. That's the thing. It was so contested, we had 2 colors. So we're basically heavy black with enough playables in red or blue to fill it out either way. So we decided to mix it up here. I'm going to not leave this mana fallow. I'm going to use this and take out the mob. Timberland Guide is a better thing to get under Gissa anyway because it does something on ETB. And also Elementalist wants cards in the yard, so a lot of things pointing us towards going ahead and firing this off, but a lot of things pointing me towards waiting right now and going ahead and leaving 3 mana fallow here unless Morpheus follows with a significant ground creature for 4 mana after combat. But I'm not going to use this on the guide. Might use it on something after combat. But if we can withstand it, I'd still rather try to play the Resurrector and get it on our side. And again, it has an ETB effect. And technically our Resurrector blocks everything. I'm worried that the thing is I'm not going to block. So effectively, if we don't defenestrate now, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, we're effectively going to 10. But then we untap with removal and Gissa and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and this is a high risk line though. Although actually with the Elementalist, maybe I should not be greedy here. Elementalist can get back the Defenestrate. It can block the Timberland Guide, and we can wait on the Resurrector. Yeah, I've changed my mind. I'm going to be a grown-up. Grown-up time.
All things that I used to know have gone out the window.
If I play the Elementalist now, I have the offer, but I don't want to make it yet because of the Resurrector. I'm just going to risk it. See if they've got removal. Fight removal does not get it done here, even the uncommon one. So it needs to be kind of the white O-ring style removal. And if they go with the Coven thing, we don't really care. But Oppo is now my hero because they triggered this meme.
Now's the time on Sprocket for me, dog!
Yeah, borrowed time is the excellent answer here. Really, a bunch of 1/1s is a great matchup against our deck. We threw in these perforators, and now they're almost useless. I mean, they're not useless for going wide and getting there eventually, but effectively, Join the Dance reads like discard, make some 1/1s and Oppo discards 2 cards. Yes. That's why I'm saying these are like dead cards now. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm saying, God, these are terrible because of these. No, yeah, we're kind of screwed because of those. Let's go ahead and get the removal now. Try to find, at least they can also suicide in to make a bigger Dread Knight, but I'm going to go and get removal. And against green-white, I am going to get Defenestrate, I think, although really Olivia's... If we draw a mana, we could do potentially 3 spells off of Olivia's. I'm going to go with the Defenestrate, though. They're just showing a lot of ground stuff. Although they're playing white, so something could end up in the air. But generally, green just has a lot of ground stuff. Yeah, that's why I got Defenestrate. If it was nighttime, I mean, we just get the obvious power card there for the -13. But no attacks, not offering trades. We're going to dance again. If we don't draw a land, our next turn is Perforator, hold up, Defenestrate.
Now's the time on Sprocket for me, dog!
Scurry, go wide. If Morpheus has a copy of that uncommon Team Pump, we could be dead in a split second. Although I don't think it has split second. All right, land. Doesn't really change much. Split second was like fixed interrupt. Anybody out there not know what interrupt is? I mean, some people have just never been exposed to it. The good old interrupt. It's going to be sad to trade a Perforator for a human, but we reduce the human count down to 4, and we make a 6/5 Dread Knight, and then we're in a much better place to like attack successfully with this card backed up by some removal. Rejuvenator has an ETB and taps for mana. This is actually a great Defenestrate target with the Resurrector. It's not that we can use the mana that much. I don't mind the life. Candlegrove, is that better? Pretty soon it's going to start flying. They have no flying defense. So this actually gets aggro. But this gains us some life and gives us some mana. It's just we don't really need mana. They might. Also, this starts flying against us eventually. Definitely killing one of these. But this doesn't do much for us. This would just be like making sure we don't die to this. Yeah, but it's evasion once, right? I mean, it's a decay creature. If this was just a Candlegrove Witch, I think we would take it. But one shot of flying is not a big deal. Ongoing mana could matter. Well, it doesn't even matter. If we were at Coven, what? We get one shot with a Witch with them at 23? It just doesn't matter. I'm going to go for the Rejuvenator. Eaten Alive. Let's send the Perforator and try to drop the Dread Knight here. Yeah, I mean, it's not far off, but the point is it didn't matter. Yep, Eaten Alive, Exiles. We're not going to get it with the Resurrector. It's still good to have, but we're still starting with this. Maybe even send the Elementalist. Like, we're trying to slim things down so that Dread Knight doesn't... They don't have good blocks on the Dread Knight, and we're willing to give up creatures to do that. So I am going to send in and offer the Elementalist. I want him to trade off. And then Dread Knight with backed up by removal without a significant play from Oppo has good 6/5 trample attacks. That's worth exiling. They don't get the backside of it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they only need to pile on 5 worth. Yeah. Just thinking through and doing this while I think about it. They can't get there on... I guess they could put 3 1/1s and like the Guide or the Grove, and that's a decent trade here. Yeah, we're on... I don't know where you're at in the lineup, but we're on game 3. Happy. So I think I do like going ahead and getting this patrol out of the way. And then I think we go ahead and offer the mounted Dread Knight, because if they do what I would expect and give up all of their 1/1s to get rid of the big Trampler, then the Perforator becomes a decent attacker again. And at least they can't take out the Dread Knight without giving us one of their 2-drops as a decay token. So... maybe there's worlds in which we try to somehow whittle the board more, but I think this is the best, because if they add to the board and we draw land, then this just gets worse and worse. So I'm going to send in, well, this is a pretty good offer. Yeah, like Morpheus doesn't even want to make that trade yet, wants to try and find a better way to answer it. Wolf hits the battlefield. That was the song theme this week, of course. Now I like sacking the Rejuvenator to our Awakener. See what we find. And we'll do that before we send or decide on our attacks. Actually should just use this. Or at some point use the mana from it. I don't want him to kill it. I guess I could have swung with it and then made them gang block it, but this is definitely what I want to die, and we have removal outs and stuff that are important to draw pre-combat, I think. And this wolf explains a lot of the decisions, because Death Touch is nice against the Knight. And this can end step it. So I guess we'll offer the Perforator again to continue to trim away. I guess we could also offer the Dread Knight and would trample over for a bunch. But I'm going to offer the Perforator here. And Blood Chief after that. Try to start growing something. Oh, really? Sorry, I thought there was... I looked and thought there was 3 mana. My bad. I even knew it was 3. I just literally glanced and thought I saw 3. Oh well. Missed an attack. Would have definitely happily taken some trades there for the Dread Knight. But this is not the worst. Ooh, do we want the Perforator up? Yeah, let's move the Perforator up. Then it doesn't have trade blocks with the humans. Take out a couple of those at least. And it'll still ping to give us another counter here. We can also put counters here. Just get our Dread Knight big enough that it fears nothing. But right now it fears Death Touch, so don't really have that option. This is a weird attack. What do you think it represents? Is there... why is green suicide attacking? With 1 creature. Is there combat damage? Is there... Yeah, I know, but, well, I just take it because you can't think of anything, or because you've thought it through and there's nothing. Like, what does this mean? What does an attack like that mean? Yeah, something dying, death trigger... +19, +19. Well, I'll make them have it, but I don't know what's going on. Yeah, maybe defense. Like, maybe they're like, oh, maybe they'll block with the 4/4 and we get... Okay, there we go. Captain. It is explained. Cheap Captain so that Death Touch can still stay up. Understood. And you get memes for the trouble.
Not only am I your ship's captain, I am also your party captain. Woo! We're gonna get it going here in just a few minutes.
I'm your party captain too.
And yep, happy to trade Perforator for 2 tokens or any one of their creatures. So we're going to be sending that in and then thinking about what to do with the Blood Chief counter. This is probably a spot to double block with the tokens because Gissa doesn't get anything there. And I think I'm in spread it out a little bit. As long as this Death Toucher is here, the size of the mounted Dread Knight doesn't matter all that much. It's definitely a flavor, right, Rob? I had a hard time getting into, like, the first one I watched was the original, the British Office, and I almost bounced off it. But then I learned to love cringe humor, and it started to work out. Speaking of working out, Oppo got our big bomb before we could get another creature off it. We can outlaw here for no value. We can Dread Knight and at least outlaw for a drain. Hey, if you need interaction, I mean, show me a deck that's not going to produce a... I bet most decks have, you know, like 4 or 5 targets for this, and they're generally going to be good ones. Sometimes it's going to be stuck in your hand, but when you do cast it, you're getting something good. You're not happy with it, but I'm saying I'm not embarrassed if I need interaction. You're going to get something. You like drain and counter for the 6/5, but it only gets the wolf. I'm not going to do it yet, but I'm actually going to not cast the outlaw yet because we're really not doing any attacking on this board, but neither is Oppo. So I'm just going to hold. If they're playing black, I might worry about discard. more land than we want. Hard to call it a flood this far into the deck, but you know, with 9 lands, it's a little over average, but at least we're not getting attacked. So I'm just going to continue to try and get answers off the top since we're not under any immediate pressure. Well, now the face I make when Michael Scott speaks is generally, you know, laughter, but okay. Yeah, I hear you. It is not for everybody. Play with fire is what I'm talking about. I am gonna send in the Dread Knight alone and assume they're gonna maybe just 1-for-1 block, but let's I could also send the Blood Chief because I don't really care if they want to 1-for-1 there, but actually I do. I think Trampler only, yeah, because we could still grow things here depending on how this plays. And this might not work out. 2 cards here. We're going to do our best and make him activate that wolf and then play with fire. And the reason we don't need to kill ahead is because first, with trample, all the damage is going to get through. And second, we don't want them to know that this isn't going to work, at which point they would pile on other creatures, right? So right now we're happy to go to damage since it's not having death touch, but here's where things change, and here's where we try to kill. I have a new meme for that, but it's not in yet. Prof sent me one. And now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't get this out of range, but it tramples. So we should probably keep piling on trample since they haven't shown the capacity to deal with it yet. Yeah, outlaw spreading would be nice, but since they haven't shown the removal, and this has a very important evasion ability on it, I like eggs in basket, given that Oppo appears to be top decking for answers to it. Awakener, no fodder. But now it's a damned if you do, because if we send both of these, they can't let, they could put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they can pile everything onto the Dread Knight. But then even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, I think this is lethal without something here because of the trample. And yeah, we should drop Awakener because if they have something to interact with us, we can at least respond and note the pause. So there is something. Does that change our play? I don't think it can. My hair's safe. I'm not going to overthink it. Show me what you got, Morpheus. It could be mass pump. What do we want dead most? Doesn't really matter, but we'll put it in guide into party captain order. Yeah, mass pump would be fantastic, but at least it's us not losing to that mass pump because they had a go wide mass pump win before. Yeah, and I guess no coven means it would be just +1/+1. Looks like just desperation stay alive though, so now they're sweeper or dead. And now I'll spread around the love. Right.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
All right, I'll switch back now. Maybe I'll just go back and forth. Good game. Definitely had to earn it. Was worried a lot of the time. Some good choices on your part. Yeah. Here comes blue-red spells, right? There's just no way this Timber's not blue-red spells. It's gotta be. And it's probably gonna be very good, too. Since it was pretty open. I was gonna switch, though. I'll switch. Oh, no. I was thinking... Although it was True who was admitting his addiction to the deck, but I think Timber likes it too, from my recollection. Although True said would have ended up as Vamps anyway. Now that would be flexing. We could take a look, see what blue-red looks like. I think it would be a bad deck, but, you know. My hair is safe. Maybe I'll do that if I get to 4 wins and I've secured the week. We've lost the cancel button, but we're not pairing. That makes me nervous. I'm sure Hat's on it. Maybe I'll go look in Discord, see what the chat is. This is where I go and see them all being mean to me. Oh, it worked. But is it... Oh, it's draw. We already heard it. Heard the draw. I do a quick restart. Just feels safest and doesn't take that long. I do that. You're heading the wrong direction, Oven. Seems like it's borked again. Did Trannel restart? Everybody restart. We got capitalization done right. Stupid case sensitivity. Yeah. All right, closing again. Everybody's too hopeful. Stop being hopeful. When you experience the draw bug, close your client and restart. Don't be hopeful. We're talking about Arena here. I'm hopeful that this works. Wait, darn it, I'm not supposed to be hopeful. The intermittency of the issues with this system are what's so frustrating. It's like, what is different? What changed? Okay, Timber hasn't resent yet. I'm worried that it might be like, oops, I entered the queue too early, and like it's going to screw up again because N seconds passed and now it's borked. I don't know. But however, it looks like restarting works. I'm going to tell Spadone this too. The people got to stop messing around. When it fails with the draw bug, restart. Both players. This is a keep. Ooh, and now we'll play the Swamp for the Awakener in case we find a 2-drop and can do the sacrifice curve out. And if not, we can Wilds for a second Swamp. Actually, I guess maybe we could Wilds for a third island given the Dissipate, but we still need more swamps than not. Although island here gives us Dissipate next turn, but next turn we're going to do Zombie. I'm not going to choose to hold up Dissipate over deploying the Zombie, so I'll go ahead and get a Swamp. Look, see? Was not wrong about Timber either. Oh, never mind. 3 colors. It's 3 3-color decks today. And Farmer in all of them. Look at this value train in here. Tranel's going Value Town on us, and it looks like it's going to be good. We'll go Zombie, though, as said. That's true. Whiffed on land isn't the worst, but didn't whiff on value. Did not whiff on value. Swing with threat of activation? What do you even mean? Darn it, wanted to dissipate that and exile it. And now I'm on hold Defenestrate, sacrifice, and dissipate, and just pass. Could send the Zombie, though. And then sack it, potentially. I mean, if they... yeah, maybe I will send the Zombie. Farmer still doesn't have good attacks. And I don't mind trading off for the Farmer and then getting a token. I don't mind trading for the to do the Awakener thing. And in fact, maybe I'm just supposed to do it now while shields are down. We're just going to get frozen, though, too. So if we can put a lot into the Awakener, it can just get tapped down. But it's only for a turn. It does mean going shields down on this, though, so there's no reason to do it with the Dissipate in hand. We will pass and hold all of our instant options up here. I guess the reason to do it is we don't want them to kill the Awakener in response, but Dissipate's too worthwhile to hold here. And yeah, I think we go ahead and dissipate that. Then we can sack and attack next turn for good attacks and drop a siege zombie. No reason to attack with the zombie token. If they've got something, they've got something, and when we did it wasn't going to matter. And they did have something, and when we did it didn't matter. I'm going to go siege zombie to max mana. Eaten Alive also exile, so we can get rid of this Gale Drifter without creating another flyer. That's not the worst. What is this? Oh, basic land finder. For the nonsense. Channel on full nonsense. Love it. Come on. Even I have to tip the cap to the full nonsense going on here. This flips into a biggin. We might need, but we have Defenestrate for that. So let's see, a lot of things to do here, but I like Awakener, full cost, Eaten Alive. And then we still have Defenestrate for scary monsters. Getting outvalued here in a way that's problematic if we don't find some value of our own. Let's see, what we need our Curse. That would be good. Get some cards back. Stowaway also would be good. So we have outs to help us recover from the card disadvantage we're experiencing, but these beast tokens are going to be real, especially backed up by a blessing at some point. Yeah, we have 2 decks to choose between today. Shady Traveler. Then pass, holding up Defenestrate and Awakener and tapping. All right, Timber's down to the graveyard value, but there's a lot of it. So no matter what, they're going to get the Shady held down. And we continue to kind of need the Defenestrate for the even bigger 5/6 over the 5/5. So scary times. Is it tap to transform? It does tap, so it can't surprise block. We have too many things we need to kill. That's our big problem here. We have a lot of mana, though, so I am going to just untap. There's an argument for just sacking the Traveler to get the 4/4 now and untap, but this is eventually going to untap. We have a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and draw. Crawl from the cellar, you say? Hobbling Zombie is a fine thing to get out of the cellar, gotta say. Now we have Defenestrate, Flip, and Zombie taps. Nice. I'm gonna Churches is another one of those bands, D, that has been like a 3.5 stars for me band, where it's like, I get why other people just totally love this band. It just hasn't quite locked in on me, but I appreciate the call out of the new album, and I'll check it out. Let's see. I've been listening to the new My Morning Jacket album because I just saw their live show. I've been enjoying that. It's a album recommendation there. Sorry, Trannel, getting in, music talk distracted me. Oh, cool. Like for the whole album or one song was a Smith collaboration? Sounds like typically it's like a one song deal. Ooh. These flyers are trouble. Flyers are trouble. All right, we're gonna do some sieging. I'm gonna go ahead and defenestrate to max mana here. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, they just were hovering over the zombie. I thought they might be trying something. What's making? Oh, it's this. Yeah, it's like why can they tap for anything? Oh, the thing we're about to kill. Well, you've named a band I like enough to check out on my own, so no worries on that front. Ambush is going to flip if we pass to night. I owe you like 1,000,000 day nights here. I'm going to give you both. And then we'll give you night when it flips. That 5/6 is a lot of work. I don't love it. I don't think this card is super important. Ambush for the flyers is nice. Maybe we just want to take out the Geist anyway. We could send in the Death Toucher. Well, we want to flip the Traveler. Let's do it all. Let's do this. We'll pass. Let's see if we need to do something in upkeep, though. And yeah, no attacks against that 5/5. But we can shrink this clock in the air back pretty significantly by killing the Geist. Do we want to let him draw first is one of the questions, though. And I'm going to say yeah, and we can try to get him during combat. But maybe I'm being a little fancy play here to let him draw extra cards before executing my plan. Yeah, I'm probably being fancy play. I'm going to just kill this thing before they draw. It's huge, but we've just seen that there's just too many things that can deal with stuff on the ground and chump stuff on the ground. If your big strength in this format is being big on the ground for one card and a lot of mana, I'm just and no other value, I'm not super impressed. But it's undeniably big. And I'm not saying I wouldn't play it. I'm just saying I'm not going wow about it. Really want to get this zombie traded for a ground beef so that we can then crawl it back to trade for the other one. At least now we are one to theirs and 1 to ours, and then eventually we can try to find a way to start attacking. Like with the Predator, I would trade a Predator for the 4/4 so we can send it. Don't want to sack anything here, so I'm not. Could bring something. Do we have one more? Oh no, we don't even have anything to get back. And then Predator in. Try to catch up on the damage race, and I'll sandbag a land here. Lantern in the Yard, but it doesn't do it doesn't exile card, right? It just makes mana in the yard, right? Yeah, it's pretty darn optional around here, JC. Just go with your gut. Need something to sack to the Awakener or otherwise affect this board. Please no more lands. All right, that affects the board. And could be our sack to the Awakener play. But it might be more valuable to keep it around long term than sack to the Awakener, such that I am at least going to leave it around until the end of their turn, and we'll see what develops. Right now it blocks the Angler, for example. Not that we don't have more to block the Angler, but... Thing is, we need to still keep up on pings, so I don't even know if I'm going to larder zombie here or not. Itching to do something. Oh, maybe a frenzy? Well, there's that frenzy in these packs. We could just lose right here. Yeah, I love it. Come on. All right, so now our outs are... what do we have? We have No Way Out. That's one of the cards we have in our deck. Maybe Startle gets us there? But even 8-7... Yes, Startle keeps us alive. So we're going to go look for Startle. And we do that with our Awakener sacking Larder. Oh, yeah, wait. I should, you're right. You're right. So let's see, we go Larder Zombie, this, and this. Gosh, so sad to put that in the graveyard, but yep, I mean, I guess we can crawl it back. But even sadder to die, right? Bam! Good job.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right, we're tied, chat. We are tied. Some Mastery Pass rewards there. Fun deck, Timber. Good job. Switch it up again. Sipsio is up. First timer. Oh, hey, I should mention, I mentioned yesterday that Margaret had a big genre interview in the afternoon yesterday that she was excited about and hopeful for. I wanted to give you an update. It was an interview with it was the screening interview. It was a Zoom interview that I feel like she passed the Zoom interview and is now going to get an interview with the actual design team. She has not interviewed with the hiring manager yet, is the thing. But I think she has earned her way to the interview with the hiring manager. So looking forward to hearing back on that. There is no bigger time difference than the experience of the passage of time from someone seeking a job and the person filling that job. For my wife, the person who's seeking the job, she's already experienced approximately 1.5 months of waiting, and she interviewed yesterday. Meanwhile, the hiring manager at the company she's applying for has experienced 5 seconds of time passing since the interview. 5 seconds to 1.5 months. It's a real experiential difference. All right. So, as I've said, when this happens, here's what we do. We close. Close your client. Hat, don't let them do anything but close and restart, please. Close and restart. It has seriously been the one consistent thing that has generally solved the problem. Both players quitting, both players restarting, and rejoining. Right on, Hat. Thank you. I was getting a little frustrated yesterday at the Invitational when my opponents kept, let me try this. We'll try this. We'll try this. I'll do it this way. We'll friend challenge you if the friends... No! Restart your freaking computer! All right. I'll wait till I see... All right, here we go. Now watch it not work this time. Huh? There you go. Nope, it did. I'm telling you. That's our #1 QA sequence. All right, this is good. We got a 2, 3, 4. We just need another swamp. That's mostly what the lands are in the deck are going to be. Vicious dogs. Wrong land. Worst draw on our deck is the mountain. There it is. Candle Grove would be a happy trade. Let's offer that. And then Shady Traveler, always a chance. Oppo doesn't do anything, and we get a lucky flip. And it's a better attacker than the zombie anyway, and we're trying to be aggressive here. Actually cut at least one of the zombies from this build, maybe 2, maybe just 1. They're still okay. It's just they're much better when you're being defensive long game. Yeah, blocks and eats this turn. All sorts of reasons to choose Traveler. Although that's too sus. We're not blocking. I like my Traveler. Ah, maybe it was just a captain thing, though. Probably had something else to do if we blocked situation, but it's hard to say. Found our swamp, though. That's nice. Gissa pre. And then, of course, offer trades. Maybe we're just supposed to keep the perforator back, but I think we get aggressive here. Let's race. And boy, search party captain dying with a Gissa return would be great. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Hat, I don't know. I'd like to think I would have asked the question had I been in the room. Why aren't we just giving him... Why is this Phantom? Scipio in the tank, looking for a line here. Hopefully that's good news for us, that they are worried about this Resurrector. Let's see. Well, after the huge weekend last weekend with the promotion at TCG Player, my orders have understandably dropped off quite a bit here. So this attack into the Resurrector is either just a good bluff because they know that we wouldn't risk our Resurrector, but it also does suggest that perhaps the Candlegrove Witch attack into the Traveler was backed up by, say, the +2/+0 lifelink die into a flyer trick. Some sort of trick here seems to be represented, possibly Blade Brand, possibly Cut Purse. But no matter what, we're not blocking. But I think those are the range of things I would be expecting. I guess there's the human trick too. So it could be +3 to humans, Blade Brand, +1, +2/+0 lifelink, and just obviously a lot of things that made it not realistic to take the chance there. However, dropping down to a single black makes me comfortable. I've learned the tips and the tricks and whatever enough to know that there is no single black card at instant speed besides the Graveyard Eater, and that means we can swing with Traveler and Resurrector. We could bluff with the Perforator, and at 12 that might be worth it. But it also means that at 12, the bluff probably doesn't work because they're in a place where they can't. And Perforator does block on defense and triggers the Resurrector. So I'm going to leave the Perforator back and send the other two. Now we go for the big finisher here in the Vamps deck. A fine curve topper for red-black aggro. 6/5 trample for 5 mana in red is a rate monster. Maybe it doesn't remove the lifelink trick because Auto Tapper could have screwed him and chose the Rotten Reunion, Mike. But I think you'd be right if they hadn't cast that, right? But now it throws doubt in again. Now note that +2 does not win combat against 5 toughness, so it's, to me, looking more and more like the +2/+0 lifelink spell. And if we believe that, what's the attack here? This can't block. 6/5 needs 5 damage on it, which is at least 2 of the creatures, even if they do the lifelink thing. Yeah, I guess it could still be that. But mainly it could still be the lifelinker thing. But if it's a pump spell, I guess if it's a pump spell, they only need 1, and then they get the block on it. But I don't see how we don't at least threaten with the Knight and see what they want to do. And then double spell after combat, sending just the Dread Knight. Feels like, now I am thinking it's +3/+3. That really makes a lot of sense. And really makes good blocks here. But we still ping for 1, right? Trampling over for 1 in that case. And get the Blood Chief ping. So, oops, yeah, I didn't want to send all these. So we're going to do it and lose the Dread Knight. We think to the +3/+3, but I think at these life totals it's still correct. Especially given the likelihood of the trample ping. They could put multiple blockers on, though, and just +3/+3 the lead creature, and then not take any damage. We'll see if they do that. Yeah, looks like they're going for... Or maybe they don't have anything and we're just overthinking things, but sure feels like something. And in this case, with 6 damage, we can't get them all, so we're going to try for Traveler and actually Party Captain as the better Gissa get. Yeah, we can even put the Captain first as the best Gissa get. And if they +2 it, then we still get some other stuff. If they +3 it, we don't get anything. But the, let's see. Hey, take it. We don't get the Blood Chief counter, but we got some stuff under Gissa and didn't lose our, got a fair trade for the Dread Knight. We were worried about a trick, but it seems to have worked out. That's true. Survivor is blanked by... The flipping of Survivor is blanked by Resurrector's ability. More suggestion of combat tricks, more me just kind of wanting to ignore it and just take this. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Survivor does flip with that. Oh no, they still exile? No, I guess they never hit the graveyard? Oh, I guess Gissa still exiles them, right? Even as a token, it still is exiled instead of dying, for what it's worth. Doesn't say non-token or anything. We got to draw 2 lands this turn. Well, what does it do though? I mean, it's like it's almost like that would be bad design to put the non-token wording on it, just because it's best that it's just like it makes it nice and clean. Same thing happened to everything. Now at 6, 3 blockers, afraid of tricks, including the lifelink one still. No action to punish. But 2, these get in for 4 basically because they can't really take time to block them. Except I got summoning sick creatures. Interesting spot. I'm still nervous. I feel like we're well advantaged, of course, but not obvious. That's basically where I'm at, JC. We got the Death Toucher. This trades with everything. And then we leave these back. Yeah. I like it. This seems correct to me. Especially that currently, although... Oh, actually a really good play for them... Oh, no, it takes too much white. But pumping something and then flipping Farmhand is kind of interesting. This is fine still. I like that all of our creatures trade with something. This is fine to me. And if they do blocks, Gissa gives us this big alpha next turn. Was there a trick lurking? I feel like we've been playing around something all game that we're waiting to see what it is, but it keeps being... Could have been the commando. It could have been... I mean, there's a lot of things that explain what it could have been. And I think the lack of punishing us with combat tricks probably means that it just was that stuff, and maybe there isn't more tricks that we're worrying about. All right.
I do my
Took a slight
hair
lead.
toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Chat with that one. It's starting to feel like I'm just supposed to restart after every game, but some of them worked early without restarting. We'll see if I'll be this hopeful. See if we can hook up with Happy without a restart. But at least we know we have a pretty good workaround when it fails. Is Happy all set? Mm-hmm. It's putting Happy Idiot in my head. Has Happy sent though? I'm looking at Discord now, Hat, so I see your convo. I don't even know if he's tried. If Happy has tried. I didn't hear explosion, so I think we're good. All right. Nice looking hand. We have Interloper, both of our land types. We just need one more land to kind of unlock for a few turns after turn 2, and then a second swamp really gets us going. Good game, Sipsio. Man, you had me worried about a lot of stuff there. So many instants that could just blow me out, and I got lucky that you didn't manage any of the scariest ones. 3 2-drops, no land yet. What do we want? I want to threaten blocks and have something I don't mind trading off, so that is Perforator. Another nice thing is if we do draw a basic land, Outlaw gets a drain even if Perforator trades off. 3 toughness from Happy would be a bummer. That's kind of the thing I want to see least. Means we don't have attacks. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We really need to find that third land or we don't have much going on regardless. I mean, we can still have 2-drops we can play. It's just we really obviously need the land flow here. No luck. We'll see about attacking. I mean, we get blown out by the 2/1 uncommon that -2/-O's with a flash. But especially being down a land, I don't see how playing scared is going to get us there. So we might get blown out here, but if we do, we're going to have a really tough time winning the game anyway, because we don't have much room to play around when we're stuck on land like this. I mean, Gissa has been solid for sure. Great even, but it's interesting to note that nobody has removed her. At least... And what I love about the Organ Hoarder is that in the average case where Oppo does have something to answer, you've gotten your value out of the Hoarder. I'm going to go with Interloper again, though. Not again, but we'll go with Interloper over the other 2. And I think in general, it's going to depend on how much reach out and kill 'em removal you've got. Like, if you don't have much removal, Organ Hoarder is actually significantly better. There we go. There's our third land. A little bit late here with the Silversmith buffing up the team. But we do have a zombie to play instead with Death Touch, so we can threaten on the ground and still attack in the air. which eventually becomes a flyer, which is in a sense scarier than a 3/4. So we could make an argument for trying to take out the witch. Also, if they have something like Wave, they may be happy to bounce back their Silversmith, which could be what's being set up here. But I'm going to go for the Dead Smith. I'm going to go for the biggest thing. Startle's so good against that zombie. But again, it's really tough to play around stuff. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Not block with my zombie whose job is to block? Thanks for the gift sub, Mama. That's kind of you. Oh, Captain. So now, like, we've seen 4 blue decks, 3 black decks. I don't know. Blue and black certainly represented here, shall we say? Certainly represented. Play with fire doesn't get much of importance here. So, but how do we not die? We're so on the verge of losing this game. And kind of up against it, but Interloper can't block. I guess I have to leave Perforator back to threaten the Captain trade, but we can at least send Interloper and Arrogant Outlaw, get a drain, get a threat on the Witch. So this could keep us alive long enough to solve. I bet we're going to see a Consider here with what I'm seeing. Oh, and I'm missing memes. Here, let me catch up a bit. We've got, there's the Consider that I was going to be ready for.
Consider this. Consider this.
And then the other one I missed is this. We also saw one of these today, I think.
He's right. Ain't no rules in the dog can't play basketball.
All right. Pretty straightforward. We are in a choiceless situation. We're going to try to get this trade in and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and hope for the best from here. Technically, this takes away Coven, but only for the moment. Play anything here. Yeah, that's what I expected. I was checking. Sometimes there's this static ability where it has flying if Coven is happening. Other times there's a trigger that happens that gives something a thing till the end of turn. It's the trigger, which means that play with fire, killing the 2-power creature in the middle of combat, will not drop the witch out of the sky to trade with the outlaw. So if I want to stop that from flying, I need to play with fire before we hit attackers. And now, because of our sitch, we do need to zombie hold up play with fire. We don't really have the ability to play Gissa, but we can go zombie, play with fire. If we draw a land or a mountain, we can go elementalist, get play with fire back. So we're trying to find some survival lines here, but they're slim. Really need this Delver to not flip. Although, frankly, the Delver flipping would technically take them out of Coven. It's just they would get a 3/2 flyer out of it. We'd have to use this on that instead. I guess we attack with a Vamp. It doesn't block. Could have even sent this, I guess, but I would rather almost have the zombie for a ping than just send it in for 2 and have it disappear forever. I'm considering scooping here, but
Consider this.
technically,
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Gale Drifter would create 2 sources of okay, so now we can't prevent the now we can't prevent Coven because Happy can throw out the 2/2 flyer, and then Happy's now double covered on all the stuff. Maybe I should have killed this before this had a chance to go on the stack, because now we actually get our Outlaw tapped as well. Probably just kills us. So yeah, I think the 2 spell there was too much. But now we just gotta let that happen and block with the zombie. But I think that takes us out of it. All right, tied up, chat. Tied up. Final game decider. I like that. Swing away is GG, but gonna make Happy do it. Keep Happy nervous. And yeah, let's see. Is it for sure GG? Well, it's effectively GG, but we'll survive the turn anyway. Eaten alive. Boy, one more land and we could actually make some sort of game of it. But as it is, we go eaten alive, taking out the witch, and then we're just still dead, right? Yeah. Especially with this thing not being able to block.
Is this a dead man, Doctor? Very dead, Mr. Spock.
Good games today, chat. Nice tight race for the week. And I'm going to flip it on back to finish on the blue-black zombies deck against chat's anchor for the week, Chimero. Good game, Happy. Well played. Nice deck. Oh, I forgot to move back. Oh well. I mean, I intended to, but now I've accepted the deck I have. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't love this opener, but I'm not throwing it back. Hopefully Chimaro's trying to win on the ground. I like this draw. That's a decent draw. Find our second swamp and our third land. And thin the deck a bit of lands. I wouldn't mind a land or 2 more here, but hey, that's a perfect draw, a 2-drop. And we did think there was another black-red deck, and here it is. So is that the 4 black decks and 4 blue decks, right? If you count mine as blue, even though it's not blue right now. Yeah, we were a little thin on lands. A little more land would have helped there, but perfect play to counter the Perforator, but we get the zombie here at least and can use all our mana. We just need some more off the top so we can get to our sweet 4. I'm immediately going to blame this eventual loss on my failure to switch. Clearly, if I had been able to switch decks, I'd be in a commanding position. This thing is so tough. Like, sure, we can play a 4/4. Doesn't mean we can block this thing. It's almost unblockable. But we will play our spells. And I guess I should... I mean, I could attack with a zombie. I'm not blocking this with anything. They're not blocking this with anything. This threatens to block this. I suppose they might attack with this, and then I don't have blocks on the painter. I'm gonna... Yeah, they're just never blocking it. I'm trading 2 for 2, and I think I'm the defensive player here, so I'm gonna stay back. You know that nighttime. No. Whatever we do. Oh, we'll craw it from the cellar. Never mind, we're fine. But I wanted to go give you night. Let's flip it back to day with Interloper and Perf. And disguise our Gissa. There's some risk here in letting the Gissa get exiled from the yard with something, but I'm going to risk it to put it back to daytime. Gives us a flyer too. They don't have flying blocking right now. This I'm happy to offer, and we're going to take the 3/4. For trick or painter. The worst case is, I guess they can just, yeah, worst case is that they do something that leaves value on the table and kills the zombie. Effectively a 2 for 1. This is not bad though. This is just trading zombie for a frenzy, which is a fine trade. And we can get Gissa back and replay her. Probably, no, we can't because of the black requirements. Interesting. Actually, maybe I'll go like for this turn. We do have some sack stuff, right, for the zombies token, so I'm not going to send that. Stinger does not have first strike. We could send... I'm going to send these because I'm not blocking with them. But am I exposing myself to too much crackback damage with them at 20? Well, what's my play if not? Am I really putting perforators on stingers? No. Am I putting perforators on painters? Gah. I think we attack, but maybe it means that I actually have to play the zombie and crawl as our play here instead of the collector. I think that's correct. Oh, it's zombie first, though, of course. Don't want it on that zombie. We want it on this one. Good attacks from those two, but at 14 we have good crackbacks. Let's see what Chimero comes up with for their plays here. There comes a point where we also just force some activation to stymie the turn a little bit, but what a follow-up. Great work, Chimero. Man, I thought I was doing okay. What a 1-2 after that. Funny, I forgot I had this card in our deck, but here it is. We get to do something as well. We can forage and crawl. It's not amazing, but it's all we got, really. I mean, I guess I could resurrect, but that doesn't have good blocks either. Nice, that's cool. Congrats, Chimero. take their last card, but how does that keep us alive? What's the plan to stay alive? What I like, Foragers lets us do a couple of things. It's daytime. I guess we don't need to flip it to night. That's fair. And it does trade with the Foragers, and we can chump the Brigand. Okay, let's get their last card. They don't have... Oh, they do have 2 pumps. What do you know? They can pump this to 4/4 first strike, and this to 3/1 first strike. But they can't double pump this, so we could put the collector on here, and like these 2 on here. This is a somewhat interesting block. That says, okay, do your worst with the Brigand, but we actually, our flyer lives, and maybe we can actually crack back twice for the win here. Take something else off the table. They didn't offer Ambusher for these Perforators. Is there a straight crackback? Like, we could also chump the 4/3 and leave a Perforator to attack with, but it doesn't attack well into the Painter anyway. I think this is what I need to do because it leaves the flyer alive and leaves us alive, and takes 2 of their attackers out for next turn. I still feel up against it, but if they didn't top deck anything, this is pretty reasonable. Although they didn't play a 6th land, which would be interesting. They declined to play the 6th. Chimero could have played a 6th land and had double pump on the Stinger. And that would have changed my block, so I'm kind of happy with how this played out. And then Dread Knight, not bad. Oh man, we're 1 mana away from being able to Foragers, get 3 mana extra, and actually drop the Dread Knight. And we can't do Foragers and get the double black for Gissa, so we're having trouble 2-spelling here. But is 1 spell, no cards, enough to save us? These 2 don't kill us. This is chumpable, and then we put a 2-turn clock in the air. So I'm going to try that. We could lose to a top deck, but if the top deck is a blank, this should be good. Oh yeah, I should also think about that. We can Forge or Crawl. Yes, that's the play if we don't. But we can't. I was thinking about whether we do anything, need a counter on a zombie, but even that doesn't do anything. So we still just, and the other question is, do we send these for effectively getting them to 1 or having them trade off the Ambusher? I think with the threat of burn, I go ahead and send these zombies this turn. And we swing away. Ambusher might block here, but no, they took an extra point. Or we knew they could have blocked. I said get him to 1. It was get him to 3. It was always get him to 3, or possibly trade for the Ambusher. And then we can go Mounted Dread Knight, but yes, Forager's Crawl does the same chump job and lets us at least do a little extra. So yes, we'll do that, but we got to pay correctly. Even if I'd screwed up the auto tap, it would just be chumping with a different creature. This Crawl is just a little bonus. We don't even get a counter on a zombie here. But we'll get a... I'll get a zombie because it dies into something. And still does the chump job anything else does. This, of course, attacks and has some damage reach. But so like if they were at 1, I would go Perforator, but at 3, I think I go zombie. All All right, this was always the plan. Let's see how it works. Slash to the face. Nah, win target game for Ryan. I got the weak, chat. That was a great one, though. Excellent back and forth. I think we practically flip-flopped 1-1-1-1 all day long.
I do my hair toss, check my nails.
Great game, Chimero. Great week. Great matches. Fascinating draft. We way overdrafted black and blue, but still all had functional decks. Couldn't have been drafting perfectly correctly, though. Somebody, probably maybe me, was supposed to be in something else, but it's so tempting to chase those powerful blue-black cards. I'm not surprised we overdrafted it. Very interesting mix of of decks to result from a single pot of drafting. Cool. Here, I'll put the final record in. Does Magic even take raids on these streaming, on their Worlds days or whatever? You know that's what you want to watch, right? So I should probably just send you there. I like that Amazonian is streaming too. It's fun to see who's streaming through this. Yeah, fellow streamers streaming through it. But I'll actually maybe I will send you to one of the fellow streamers streaming through it. Yeah, why don't you share a link for people to start at the beginning who want to go do that? And I'll raid Corticals for those who want to stick around watching streamers instead of watching the big Magic tournament. Let's send you to Alex. I appreciate that link, Hat. I'm going to be using it. All right, chat. Great Gauntlet. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Hat. Thank you, competitors. Thank you, viewers. Good times as always. Hair is safe another week. I'm excited to check out the Churches album. You don't even need to spend points on it. D will get that done. And I also have some listen-ups over the weekend. But go say hi to Alex. Looks like he's going to start another game coming up. He's Mythic number 10. Cool. Let's go see if he can hang on to those top spots. Bye, gang. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll catch you on Monday.